Sisters,
we shall not yield to tyranny.
Our cause just, we will prevail. The fight for our rights. Buffs. Ready for a journey back? Look at this encampment. The spirit of 76 is alive.
Bobby, at this point, history. Shame on you. Shame on you. Because we are being played as the American people. Our money is funding a war that we don't need to be in. We shouldn't be okay with it. So as long as I have breath in my body and a mic to use, I will be speaking out against this.
A true patriot savors these moments, but the fight for liberty calls.
The economy, we have a global economy. That's why we're a number one economy in the world. I know that a lot of people want to paint the horrible view of America, but, you know, go live somewhere else and then tell me America's bad.
Patriotism is all about. Look at these flags. They represent our fight for liberty.
This is so freaking crazy to me that we have an conflict with Iran before a single person from the Epstein files has been arrested on American soil.
The hour of our liberty is at hand. For freedom is brava. Brothers and
I
sisters.
was working, man, you know, but it's good to see Rippy out there handling business, man. And again, hey, that's a lot of black Trump supporters, man. I mean, it feels good to see that, man. So
My fellow patriots, the hour of decision is upon us. Let us march forth with courage to secure our liberty.
A real coach. People are getting sick of it. The moment a celebrity steps slightly outside the leftist approved narrative, they get attacked. Chili from TLC gets heat over allegedly donating to Donald Trump.
For liberty. The British advance. We must act.
Our supplies are low, but morale is high.
Then we fight for liberty.
Payne's work captures the spirit of we fight for independence.
With
Welcome to my
that said they were anti-war. I think they said no new wars. Yeah, they voted for a president that was not going to start any new wars. And what's funny to me is that not only were you lied to, not only did this man start this and get out of the
freedom. Greetings from the encampment. The spirit of liberty is strong. We will fight for our rights and our freedom.
Just in order to get the Greater Israel Project accomplished, you have to kill people. That's why it's wrong. Killing people is wrong, full stop. So you can try to make sense of it with, well, it's a threat and this and that. There's no greater threat than the United States empire.
To the encampment for liberty.
And what I've learned, and I'm not a liberal or a Democrat. I voted for Trump the first time, but he's become a politician. He lies like all the other politicians. He deceives like all the other politicians.
Endures through every change and challenge. We stand at the dawn of liberty, unshaken by the trials ahead. Our cause in doing.
I'm going to go out on the limb and say anybody that sits in that oval does not like Americans. They love the United States, though, which is the politics, but they don't love the Americans. Americans are farmers. Americans are mechanics. Americans are school teachers. Americans are mom and pop businesses.
And friendly! Soldiers, the enemy is near.
Not only do I love my FBA fam, my Black American fam, my Black people on code, you know, my people that's allies with us, as part of the fam. I love y'all. I love my country too. You feel me?
People see my physique and assume I'm just some dumb Chad. But in reality, I graduated 5th in my law school class, magna cum laude. I got awards for getting the highest grade in my class in constitutional law, criminal law, and legal analysis and writing. I knew I was the smartest I'd ever been in my life.
The cause to victory.
To victory! These pastries are wonderful.
Indeed, but we must stay vigilant.
Says it will not go to peace talks in Pakistan as long as the US blockade of its ports remains in place. Those talks were meant to begin today, but over the weekend, US forces seized an Iranian-flagged cargo ship near the Strait of Hormuz. That seems to have derailed the process, and this morning the Foreign Ministry spokesperson claimed the US is not serious about pursuing the diplomatic process. American forces seized that Iranian ship after it defied repeated orders to turn around. President Trump posted, "The Iranian crew refused to listen, so our Navy ship stopped them right in their tracks by blowing a hole in the engine room. Right now, US Marines have custody of the vessel." Hours earlier, Iran fired on 2 Indian ships. The captain of one ship sending this urgent radio message.
Sepa Navy, this is Motorengafsan Marhedar. You gave me clearance to go. My name second on your list. You gave me clearance to go. You are fighting now. Let me turn back.
President Trump still says a peace deal will get done. He told ABC's Jonathan Carr that it will happen one way or another. The nice way or the hard way, it's going to happen. You can quote me. He's hoping fiery rhetoric about a return to war will get Tehran back to the negotiation table.
Unfortunately, we'll have to start dropping bombs again.
The current ceasefire is set to expire Wednesday. The administration is renewing its threats to destroy bridges and power plants across Iran, which could be a violation of international law.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Described him as one of the most dangerous men on the face of the earth.
Welcome to the Man Cave. Welcome to the Man Cave. I'm Gray Mars.
It's Mia.
And we have a guest returning, Killers and Losers. Your boy Slim called out, and Jeff isn't coming either, but I appreciate you showing up. Yeah, I know. He said he was sick, so sorry about that.
Well, we'll do another time then.
Well, Killers and Losers, you did content with me, but introduce yourself and tell people the type of content you make and where people can find you.
Oh, yeah. Killers and Losers on TikTok and Instagram. I post political commentary videos and like political slot videos, but it's pretty good. So check it out.
For sure. And Boderick, is that how you say your name? Boderick?
Yeah, Body Rock. Yeah, at Body Rock on TikTok. I do music and stuff too, but on TikTok it's mostly like political content, pop culture stuff. But yeah.
So what do you think about the Iran war?
I'm not supporting what's going on. I don't like the messaging at all. I think at the very least, even if you still support Trump, you would have to like concede that he doesn't know their messaging of this administration is not on point at all. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
So it seems to be like people saying that the war is ending and the war is still going, but here's what people had to say on Newsmax.
Deep Trump derangement syndrome goes if you are the Democrats, the media, or Europe. But the markets seem to have the opposite condition, a kind of anti-TDS in which Trump can do no wrong. It seems like no matter what he does, the markets love it. Since Trump and Iran announced that the Strait of Hormuz is open, the stock market is naturally celebrating and the cost of oil is plummeting. But even while the U.S. blockade was on, the market seemed totally oblivious. The S&P 500 hit all-time highs this week. The Nasdaq was up 1.6% and crossed 24,000 with 11 straight days of gains. Axios reported that funds that trade on trend algorithms bought $19 billion in equities, the biggest one-week buy since August 2024. In Trump, the markets trust. They can see the bigger play here with the military operations in Venezuela and Iran. We've starved China of 25% of its oil. Every Chinese trade route to the West is now controlled by the United States, thanks to Donald Trump. Instead of going to our adversaries for oil, China is coming to us. And U.S. suppliers are ramping up oil production and exports, again, thanks to Trump. Many thought China would come to Iran's aid when the war began. Instead, Trump has brought China to heel. The CCP's dreams of a Chinese century are dead and buried, and Wall Street knows it.
So Kills and Losers, you're on the left. She said TDS. What is your response to, the MAGA and people saying that this is helping the stock market and oil is basically going down?
I think that right now the situation we're in is that the stock market doesn't believe Trump is actually going to do anything that's really going to fuck anything up yet. I think they're still just think he's going to chicken out as usual. So if he actually does start blowing up bridges and power plants, I think this would be a real that people would start paying attention, because then it's not going to be an easy end to the war. But I think right now Trump is just making threats. He always makes his threats right before the stock market closes, and then over the weekend things simmer down. Then on Monday he declares the strait is open, and this has been going on for like a month now. So it's all just pretty ridiculous. It's pretty clear that there's no plan. Trump has declared that we've won the war since day one when we killed the Ayatollah. So it's pretty clear there's no plan here. And I think we're probably just going to keep going back and forth until something does happen, until either Trump does something crazy or until Iran places a bunch of mines in the strait or starts firing on ships. I'm not sure.
You're right. He always does it on Friday because I always get the clips over the weekend. But he said he was going to destroy entire civilization. So is that what he said, or is that not what he said?
I just think a call for genocide on a college campus and a call for genocide made by the President of the United States, like, they're both bad, right? I mean, that's what I think.
I've condemned genocide across the board. The difference with those university presidents is they couldn't answer the simple, direct question. Just calling for the genocide of Jews. President Trump didn't call for genocide, Jake. You were putting those words in his mouth. He is engaging in diplomatic back and forth.
Your entire civilization will die.
To the table, and we should it's the terrorist regime, Jake. He's targeting the terrorist regime.
His words.
You can continue the decades long. But you're adding genocide. That's not what he's
What is wiping out
stated.
an entire civilization?
In the case of the university presidents, I specifically asked them about calling for the genocide of Jews. Again, the president is correct to call out the Iranian terrorist regime, to bring them to the table, to force a ceasefire, and frankly, to free the Middle East from this largest state sponsor of terror that has not only killed American lives, but has targeted Israel and the United States of America, including assassination attempts against our elected officials.
Is calling for wiping out a civilization, is calling for wiping out an entire civilization
the
bad or
Iranian
good?
terrorist regime.
But that's not what he said.
Of course it's bad. That is not what he is calling for. He wasn't calling for genocide.
Your entire civilization
it was targeted towards the Iranian terrorist regime.
All right.
It was targeted
Agree
towards
to
the Iranian
disagree.
terrorist regime.
Agree to disagree. The book
CNN. This is typical CNN.
Okay.
If you want to compare the President of the United States to the university presidents who failed to call for the condemnation of calling for the genocide of Jews, that's on you, Jake. The world saw how morally equivocating those university presidents were. Yes, you're the one that is it's not a comparison. So if you want to make that comparison,
you if you have the
that's
same
on
standard
CNN.
for.
Mill, what do we believe?
I'm just wondering when this Jewish victimhood's gonna end. I'm so tired. It's nothing but victimhood. Me. I've never seen a group of people who are victims all the time. Everybody's out to get them. I'm just wondering when it's going to be over, when we no longer have to listen to it. When is the time frame where we can leave this victimhood behind? Because it's always everybody attacking them, even though they're one of the largest perpetrators of genocide across the world. As a country, the Israeli government is actively doing 2 genocides on 2 separate fronts, maybe 3 if we count the Lebanese Christians, the Lebanese Muslims, and the Palestinians. So that's 3 genocides going simultaneously against 3 separate people. I mean, it's just interesting to me. I'm kind of, wondering when the victimhood's going to end. I mean, Donald Trump absolutely stated that he wants to end the Iranian people. He didn't say terrorists. He didn't say the regime. He said their entire civilization, which encompassed women, children, elderly, dogs, cats, all of it. He wants to end them, which is essentially saying you want to do a genocide. I mean, she can do semantics, but he said what he said. And I mean, we're talking about a civilization that's over 5,000 years old, if not older than the Chinese. These people are going to be fine. They'll outlive us for sure.
Well, you brought up Lebanon, so this clip went viral because an IDF soldier destroyed a statue of Jesus Christ.
16/12/2025 آخر السنة. هذا كسرين الصليب هلا لميناه حطيناه على جنب. منطقة الدورة حد مستشفى مار يوسف. 16 سنة محطوط.
So, Doc, you go to church all the time. Seeing this IDF soldier destroy this statue, do you feel like this is religious blasphemy? Do you feel like this is being a divide between Christians and Jews? What's your thoughts on it?
Nah, I mean, people disrespect other people's religion all the time. It isn't the route I would go, but sometimes people do it in something so subtly, and sometimes people do it, abrasively, as this guy's doing, destroying white Jesus, I guess. I ain't even think that's what Jesus looked like, but if he destroying white Jesus, whatever. But I remember, being in country and being in Iraq, we complained about them having to pray so early in the morning and singing a song on the days you off and you could sleep in, but we just don't realize that that's something religiously sacred to them. To us, it was just a day we wanted to sleep in. So, I think everybody, does it some form or another, but I mean, I don't know what to say. It's a bad looking uniform. One of the things for us was when you're in uniform, we don't go off our own beliefs. You know what I mean? We were kind of like told to portray a good image for the army. So that's a thing.
For sure. So this is what a rabbi had to say about it.
I'm a Jew who loves Jesus, just not the divine Jesus. I love Jesus, who is my Jewish brother, who never knew what Christianity was. He was a Pharisee, and he kept the Shabbat, et cetera, et cetera. So the fact that one errant IDF soldier destroys a statue means the following: that not every IDF soldier is perfect. And he's going to be punished. And the Israeli military announced that instantly. Now compare that to what people like Tucker Carlson trying to get you to believe. Tucker's now saying that Islam reveres Jesus as a prophet, and Tucker is trying to now Islamify Jesus, who was a Jew. Really? Then why is Christianity prohibited in nearly every Muslim neighbor of Israel? Why are IDF soldiers protecting every church at the risk of their own lives? 170 IDF soldiers died over the past year. You notice, like, for people.
Killers and losers, what's your thoughts on what the rabbi had to say about the soldier attacking the statue of Jesus Christ?
Well, I think that it's a situation where they're both wrong, because he brought up Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson totally sucks and is a grifter, but this guy is also just a grifter, Rabbi Shmuley or whatever. So they're both making these points that they're not very good. Like, I don't support the IDF, but also what Tucker Carlson is saying, he's just doing this weird grift now where he's suddenly super anti-Semitic for no reason. The whole thing is really weird. To be honest, I wouldn't really take anything that either of those people say with anything more than a grain of salt, because it's all, they're just saying things, and it's just like, it's all just kind of to fuck with people. None of it really, I don't think any of them really believe in anything. They're both just making a bunch of money off of this. And so we can have this whole outrage over one soldier smashing a statue of Jesus, but in the scheme of what's actually happening in the war, I don't think that's what we should be really focused on at all. I don't think that really, it matters. I guess you could say it's symbolism, but it's one, at the end of the day, it's one guy doing something. This is not like a real reason to be against the IDF. I am against, but I think it's pointless to focus on things like this that really have no real bearing on what's happening.
Okay. So, since we're talking about soldiers, they're saying U.S. soldiers aren't getting food.
Aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln and USS Tripoli aircraft carriers deployed in the Arabian Sea say food supplies have been rationed during the prolonged deployment and that conditions are becoming more strained, USA Today reports. In addition, care packages prepared by families and communities for deployed personnel have not yet been delivered, as mail service has been suspended since early April due to airspace closures and logistical disruptions. Service members reportedly sent photos of meals that included a single folded tortilla with a scoop of meat and a small serving of carrots alongside a meat puck with a strip of processed gray meat. Now, family members are filling care packages to the brim with medicine, snacks, toiletries, and homemade treats. One Texas mother told USA Today she spent over $2,000 on care packages for her son, a Navy sailor, aboard the Tripoli. However, these packages have remained undelivered due to an indefinite suspension of mail delivery to zip codes across the Middle East. The U.S. Postal Service temporarily suspended mail delivery to 27 military zip codes as of April, following the U.S.-Israeli war with Iran.
Body Rock, how do you feel about the soldiers not getting meals? And do you think that is true, or do you think it's propaganda?
I'm so glad you came to me because my dog is on the forward right now, and they've been extended multiple times. Like, he was already supposed to be home. But I hope that's not true, because I was just about to try to send a care package out there. I'm gonna try to find out if he, if they really not taking any packages. But it doesn't surprise me if that is what's happening, because a lot of this is just a disaster, and we're not getting clear communication about any of this stuff. And like Doc was saying, same thing when I was in the Navy, before like a port brief or anything, that's one of the first things they tell you is like, you're not representing what you believe out here. You don't get to just, supersede the military and push your own ideology, whatever that may be, so.
But is this like an uncommon thing for the Navy though, Body Rock? Because I wouldn't think this wouldn't be a story for the Army. Like, it was a month and a half before we got mail right from home. Gray, what you think? A month and a half, 2 months before you got anything from home in Iraq? It was like, we ran low on food all the time. Like, that was just normal. I didn't even think this would be a story.
Yeah, and the food on the boat is totally different. Like, it's nasty. I mean, I know y'all was probably eating the MREs and all that. We weren't doing that, but it was like just slop on a tray, basically. If you Google like Navy food, you'll just see it's not appetizing. But as far as them blocking it, I have no idea. That's crazy. That's inhumane.
But you bring up a good point, because why they don't just have MREs? That is a good point. But I'm gonna go to Mia's story that she shared in the chat, because this is another story that's being talked about. What are happening to all the nuclear scientists?
Now probing the disappearances of the people behind me, the deaths of 10 scientists at least. Let's break down some of the cases. For example, let's look at Michael David Hicks. He dies at the age of 59 years old. And David Michael Hicks, a longtime JPL scientist involved in asteroid and comet research, no public cause of death given. And then you have a situation like Monica Reza. Monica Reza vanished while hiking under weird circumstances. And then you have William Neal McCaslin. This guy disappeared in February, deep ties to the Air Force research programs. So everyone has a bit of a mystery to their passing, and people are wondering, with the very similar backgrounds, extremely bright people, extremely successful people, extremely valuable people, is this all related? As you heard, the president can't say yes or no publicly yet, but the mystery remains.
Ms. Tinfoil Hat, is this all related?
Of course it's related. This literally reeks of what the government does. We disappear people. One way or the other, we disappear people. This is literally nothing new. Like, what are the odds? 20 plus scientists. We're talking about people with ties to the deep state. We're talking about people who work for NASA and all sorts of other alphabet groups. All go missing under extremely mysterious circumstances. They all die under extremely mysterious circumstances. There's no investigation. There's no nothing. It reminds me when you talk about a certain former president and his wife and their foundation, and then there's linked to over 55 people that are deceased and have been missing that's linked to their foundation, which we can't talk about. So, I mean, it's very federal government. I mean,
what were they working on that made them get disappeared? I think when I was looking at with the Fox News clip, one of the guy was just labeled as scientist. That doesn't even seem like that doesn't say nuclear. It just said scientist in general. I know these went back to 2023. This doesn't seem like a big
there's I would go on X or even TikTok, because some of the people have done very good deep dives where they break it down to their alumni, who they work for, when they worked for, some of the projects that have been declassified that they worked on. So it's just, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, splashes in water like a duck, probably a duck.
I mean, but the sources are TikTok and Twitter. I think, I don't know.
The sources are newspaper articles and obituaries of people that seemingly, and some of the public released documentation from the police as well. And 911 calls are also public as well. So some of these things are documented. I'm just saying some, I guess, internet sleuths are very good at putting all of the pieces together so people can see everything and then they can do their own stuff from there. I'm surprised that other bigger publications haven't picked it up. I'm kind of surprised that Fox News is picking it up, to be honest. But Donald Trump did say a couple days ago that they were investigating it, allegedly, because he was asked in one of his press conferences about all of these missing scientists, because it is extremely interesting that all of these scientists with ties to the federal government working for NASA and so on and so forth have all gone missing or deceased. And there's very little information known.
Do you have a hypothesis on why they would be killing scientists allegedly? I don't really see a purpose of them doing this. They're also super unrelated.
So my hypothesis would be that these people were working on a classified subject. Whether it is how classified it is, I don't know. But clearly these people were working on a very classified subject. And, you know, two people can keep a secret if one of them is dead. So it's very common in the United States for a lot of this stuff to happen and for our federal government to go in and disappear people because everybody feels the need to talk. And it's just easier that way. Last year, there was a plane crash that happened and over 15 scientists all died who were working on some pretty allegedly top secret classified stuff. So it's very, and then we have J. Edgar Hoover himself, who used to brag about unaliving people when they want to disappear people. And then the mafia did it. So the easiest way to disappear somebody who you don't want to talk would be to kill them.
So I'm going to play a clip because Killers and Losers asked that question. What president is responsible for the nuclear missiles basically being in Iran? But I'm going to play the clip.
Suggesting that Obama's leadership on Iran was better because under President Obama, there were 14 wire transfers to hold on. There were 14 wire transfers to a Swiss account linked to Hezbollah between 2014 and 2016. That was a total of $1.7 billion. The same $1.7 billion he told Congress was frozen Iranian assets. Now, there was a back channel to Tehran through Valerie Jarrett, active for 2012 to 2024. This was after he left office. So, it was almost like a shadow government. He also sent pellets of cash in a plane to Iran. Now, why would you send money to Iran knowing that they are building a nuclear weapon and they are the leading sponsor of terrorism?
Barack Obama was a great statesman who left America much safer. I wouldn't put Donald Trump in the same paragraph. The reality is when President Obama left, because of the great efforts of people like Valerie Jarrett, we had 97% of the enriched uranium out. The reality is we didn't have 13 American service members dead. The reality is we never had gas go up from $2.30 to $4. The reality is we did not give China more role in the region. Let me finish, Maria. I'll let you finish.
Okay,
we didn't give China more role in the region. We did not give the IRGC a more hardline regime in there. You know why? Because Obama actually did his homework. He actually tried to engage in statesmanship. He got China, Russia, the entire European allies on board with getting Iran on a path to not having a nuclear weapon. All Trump did is listen to Netanyahu. That's his entire foreign policy. And you know what? I resent the fact that Israel is going to tell the United States what to do. The American president should call the shots in this country.
And, well, the American president should call the shots in this country, but you and your colleagues are trying to clip his wings right now with this war powers vote. I agree. The president is in charge. But look, a lot of the things that you just said are just not true, Congressman. I mean, look, we have to look at this realistically. And President Obama sent money to the Iranians. And what did they do? They resumed their buildup of enrichment.
That's not true.
Yeah,
Not true.
What's not true? What's not true? What specifically about that sentence is not true?
There was a deal that we reached to get 97% of the enriched uranium out. In the process of that, Iran had certain assets that were Iranian assets. Wasn't our money. That was unfrozen. And that was a deal that China, Russia, France, UK, Canada, the United States all agreed to. And then you had Netanyahu come in and try to torpedo it, and AIPAC tried to torpedo that deal. We were on a path to having a denuclear Iran, but what happened is it wasn't in Netanyahu's interest and AIPAC's interest, and they've dragged us into another war in the Middle East. They've hurt American people, and the American people are tired of it. They want people who are going to be Team America. They want people who are going to bring gas prices down here and care about our nation and get us out of these wars, and that's why Obama won. He was against the Iraq War. That's why he was on a path to normalization in terms of getting Iran to be denuclear, but it had the whole world on our side. And AIPAC, Netanyahu tore that up.
Relax. Congressman, it doesn't change the fact that 10 presidents before President Trump all said the same thing.
I think there's some connection issue.
Congressman,
now I can hear you.
Congressman, it doesn't change the fact that 10 presidents before President Trump all said the same thing. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. They are the leading state sponsor of terrorism. They cannot have a nuclear weapon.
And one president delivered, and that was Barack Obama.
No, that's not true. Not one of them did anything about it. Barack Obama is the only one who delivered.
Congressman,
you're talking fantasy.
97%
Obama did
out.
nothing about it. You're talking fantasy. Obama did nothing about it.
Not true.
Other than send money to the Iranians.
Obama got the whole world. He didn't send money to them. That's just factually false. He unfroze Iranian assets, but he had the whole world behind us. How many countries do we have behind us now?
Doc, did Obama do what was right when he was in office, or should other presidents have handled Iran?
Nah, I don't think I would say I agree with it or it was right. I don't think I would have given the Iranian the funds that they released and gave to the guys. But I also think when they say that we had the whole world behind us and the policies, Obama was in office for 8 years, and I never seen us move out of any wars that we were currently in at that time. I never seen any of it end. Through his whole term, I seen more soldiers deploy and go overseas and die, and it seemed to last up until this day. Actually, they still in the Middle East, still fighting. Every president behind them, Republican, Democrat, Trump, Obama, they're all pretty much working together in concert against us, American people, because it's us who go fight. It's our kids who go. None of their kids are going to Iraq and Afghanistan. None of their kids are going to be on any of these ships. So every president, from she could go the last 10 to the last 100, all of them obviously have been working against us because our children who will go and die and fight in these wars. And whether or not you give them the money or any of this stuff, these people are just using America as a credit card and swiping it whenever they see fit. So that's just my opinion.
So Trump had this to say about soldiers, because you do bring up a good point about the humanity of people.
when you see soldiers or others, but soldiers generally walking around with no legs, with no arms, a face that's been smashed. That was Soleimani, that was Iran that did that. So we have a much different view on it than other presidents. They've gotten away with murder for 47 years. They're not getting away with it anymore.
So, Bayrak, you're a veteran. Was that appropriate for Trump to say about soldiers not having limbs and that it's Iran's fault when he's kind of, a part of the political spectrum?
Yeah, I mean, it's typical deflection. He never has a role in anything. And I agree, like to what Doc was just saying. I saw somebody on Piers Morgan, I forget his name, but he was like pretty sure he was a very decorated veteran. He was like, send Barron. You know what I mean? Trump, you got a military age son, send him out there. And I bet you'd make different decisions,
For sure. So more bombs, more bombs.
Breaking moments ago, word from President Trump, and this is what he's told another media outlet. If the ceasefire with Iran expires tomorrow, because the deadline is tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, quote unquote, lots of bombs start going off. Bloomberg is now reporting the president says it is, quote, highly unlikely he would extend the ceasefire if a deal is not made. So this is a huge hinge and pressure point. All that as we are waiting for Vice President J.D. Vance to depart for Islamabad, Pakistan.
So, killers and losers, are we going to get a ceasefire?
I think we are going to get another ceasefire. I don't think we're going to get a peace agreement, but I can't imagine that Trump actually starts bombing bridges and power plants. I guess he's very erratic, so I wouldn't put anything past him. I actually don't like the whole taco thing around Trump, the whole Trump never always chickens out, because I want Trump to chicken out every time. I don't want to, I guess we can make fun of him, but I'm glad he's chickening out. I don't want him to actually go all the way and start bombing power plants and bridges. So I wouldn't put it past him that he would maybe do this. I think it totally is possible. But I think as of right now, I guess the way I see the war ending is in maybe a few weeks, we get the Strait of Hormuz open. It just is open, and then Trump declares victory, and he says we won, even if we don't really have any real gains. He just says it's a victory, and then the war ends. But I don't think today is going to be a success, though. I don't think J.D. Vance is going to be able to do anything successfully. And so I don't have any hope that there's any real plan behind anything happening. But I do think there's going to be another ceasefire extension.
You're Gen Z, right? Killers and losers?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to you last. I'm going to have all of us comment on this poll because it's about Gen Z.
Question here. We asked the basic one. Who do you sympathize more with, the Israelis or the Palestinians? The country is dead even, 50-50.
Well, this is fascinating, but historically speaking, Steve, support for Israel has actually been higher.
Yeah, this is now much more even than it used to be, and there are two particular drivers of this. I think it's very interesting. One of them is partisan. Republicans, overwhelmingly on the Israeli side. Democrats, this is the big shift. Now, overwhelmingly 3-1 on the Palestinian side. And then the second piece of it, it's generational. It's age. Gen Z, that rising generation. Look at this. Across party there, 3/4 of Gen Z say they sympathize more with the Palestinians than the Israelis. That's a massive sea change.
It certainly is. It'll be fascinating to see how that plays out in the midterm. Steve Kornacki, thank you so much.
Mia, you're a millennial, right?
Yeah.
Are you surprised that Gen Z is supporting Palestine with such huge numbers?
No, I'm not surprised at all. Everybody, to be honest, everybody loves an underdog. And it's different for them because, I mean, this is really the first time that they've seen that kind of stuff, that kind of genocide, that kind of crazy in 4K. Like, I watched the Twin Towers. I watched thousands of people die. Like, they thought no sweat off the teachers' backs. They put us in the cafeteria, rolled the TVs, turned the TV on, and, you know, they subjected us to watching over 3,000 people die in real time. So, and like, that was me. And now Gen Z is watching what's happening with the Palestinians, and they're watching, God, I mean, what, 250,000 people now? I think it's up to like 200,000 that have died, and it's mostly women and children, and that does something to you. So I'm not surprised at all that they have sympathy and empathy for what's happening in Gaza.
All right, Doc, I'm going to have you respond to this. College age are brainwashed by the leftist media, the leftist college agenda. They just want part of the group think and probably don't even know what's going on. Do you feel like that's what's happening with Gen Z?
Nah, I think I don't think that's what's happening with Gen Z. I think with the problem with Gen Z is you see somebody who is completely unequipped to have this fight. So now when we look at the Palestinian and the Israeli thing, it comes off as bullying. Like you get it to look at it in a form of bullying now, you know what I mean? And that's just how war is though also, you know what I mean? Like one side does have to win if that's the decision that they're going to go with. I don't agree with the decision because, you know, I disagree with these people who don't believe that Palestinians living in apartheid, who only focus on Gaza. They don't even focus on the plight of the people in the West Bank, how they've been, you know, had their homes stolen, their land stolen, they've been killed. They had a documentary that showed people weren't allowed to walk down certain streets in the West Bank, the streets of the area they live in, you know what I mean? So I think when people think of it, they kind of overlook some of that stuff. But also the truth is, if Israel's going to say that they're at war with the Palestinian people, it's going to look ugly and people are going to die. But I think the part is this comes off as bullying. I mean, they're blocked on every side. They're blocked by land. They're blocked by water. Egypt won't let them in. So, you know, I think that's just a problem. And I think it looks as if it's gonna go until they kill everyone. You know what I mean? And people see that, and I mean, but America is good. White folks are good at with these trigger words because they use the word like terrorist to describe all Palestinian people instead of a sect or a group, or that's got to be like less than 1% of Palestinian people. But the moment you use the word terrorism, you get everyone on your side who's bigoted and hatred and spiteful. So that's how they do it. It's a good trick though. I ain't mad at them.
Right. So killers and losers, speak for Gen Z as far as the war. And also I know you're on the left, but the young white men are what helped Trump win, and a lot of them are actually fleeing from Trump right now. So what also do you think is causing them to flee from being on the right?
So I'll respond to both these parts. From where I haven't really met anyone that's on the side of Israel in quite a long time, and I think this mostly comes from we haven't really been given a real justification for why we're still sending all this aid to Israel. They can survive on their own pretty well. I don't think we should be sending any more military aid. I don't think that's necessary, and I think what they're doing is completely is absurd and extreme. So I think that's why the support for Israel is crumbling. And then also for the reason why so many young white Gen Z boys moved to the right in 2024. I think it's a numerous things. I put a lot of blame on the campaign that Kamala Harris ran. I think it was, at least just on the social media side, it was really lame in my opinion. I don't really know who it was catered to, but I remember I'm very much on the left, and I remember watching these videos and thinking, wow, this shit sucks. It makes me want to vote for Trump. And then Trump is out here doing all this kind of funny stuff with the podcast guys and doing these stunts. And so I think a lot of people just voted for Trump because he came across as a cooler guy, which is a stupid reason to vote for someone, but I guess you can't really fault people. I don't know. So now I see, and now people are turning back because they're realizing that Joe Biden was actually pretty decent. And I don't know how people didn't really understand that Trump was going to do all of this. It's weird when people say that Trump said no new wars, Trump said all this stuff, but this guy is known for lying. He told maybe 30,000 lies in his first term. So I don't even know why you would take anything he was saying seriously to begin with. But I think it's good that people are understanding he lied about everything. I hope that this will show up in the midterms and in 2028 that you can't trust these guys. You can't trust the Republican Party. They don't have our best interest in heart at all. But I am cautious that the people are changing up now, but they're still going to say, oh, well, Trump will be better than the Democrats, is what I feel like we'll kind of go back to.
For sure. So we're going to talk about a story that went viral. There was a father that ended up deleting 8 of his children and shooting 2 other women.
The child's head had been severed.
Breaking news, a man killed 8 children, 7 of whom were his own, in a mass shooting in Shreveport, Louisiana. The suspect, identified as 31-year-old Army veteran Shamar Elkins, is believed to have killed 7 of his own children, along with another child connected to the family. 2 adult women were also shot and remain in critical condition. The mayor of that city describing the crime scene as horrific. 8 children discovered in a home, all of them shot and killed. Police say the youngest victim was just 18 months old. The oldest was 12. Police confirmed the attack was not random, but stemmed from a domestic dispute that escalated into extreme violence. Investigators say a total of 10 people were shot, including 8 children between the ages of 1 and 14, all of whom tragically died. Authorities say the situation unfolded across multiple locations, turning it into a fast-moving and complex crime scene. After the shootings, Elkins allegedly carjacked a vehicle and attempted to flee, leading police on a pursuit. The incident came to an end when law enforcement shot and killed the suspect during that chase. Officials are still working to determine the exact motive, but early findings point to ongoing family conflict and relationship issues leading up to the attack. This case is now being described as one of the deadliest and most heartbreaking incidents in the history of Shreveport, and it has left the entire community in shock.
Mia, we were talking about this story before the show. What's your thoughts on, this horrific crime?
It's terrible. I mean, it's like fucking insane to murder 8 kids. And like this man went to like a few different houses. It's not even like it was like one big slumber party. This man went to multiple houses and was like murdering his children across like multiple women. I mean, it's like it's so crazy. I can't even.
So, Doc, they said that he was an Army veteran, and it's a lot of talk about the VA not giving veteran the right services and things like that. Do you feel like this is another failure of veterans getting mental health in the United States, or it's just a guy that just went rogue and should have not been on the streets?
It's for sure both things. Veterans don't get the proper mental health they need when they get back in this country, and that's a fact. But also, this dude's just a weirdo. Look at him. Who gave him 8 children? That brother is ugly. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know what I don't know what he was thinking. Like, man, child support too high. Baby mama's talking crazy. I don't know what was going on, but the babies don't deserve that, man. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he has the opportunity to go from house to house or different location and commit these crimes, to me, is even crazier. You know what I mean? I just got pulled over for speeding today, and I said, "Ain't you supposed to be fighting crime, motherfucker?" You know what I'm saying? So that's over. You know what I mean? And that's why I tell people, moms, women, my sister, my daughter, they got to learn to, express and, use their Second Amendment rights as well, because you never know when you'll have to step in and defend your children yourself.
Well, I feel like people need to have we need to be also instilling in women to have some discernment as well. Like, if you look at the ages of these children, it's very clearly they're across at least 3 or 4 different women. You can't have 3 5-year-olds from the same woman. It's not possible. And them not be triplets, right? Math doesn't math like that. So I think a lot of people need to have a little bit of discernment too. And we should be teaching our daughters, our sisters, our cousins to have a little bit of discernment as well. Because we could argue that you're not mentally okay if you think having 8 children across the span of like 3 years by like 4 different women.
That brother is ugly though, Mia. He was making some big girls.
I know.
He was making some big girls nights. It was some big girls having some nights around him.
There must have been, because there's like 3 5-year-olds, 2 6-year-olds, couple 4-year-olds, couple 7-year-olds. Most of them are all the same age. I mean, it's literally a bunch of children that are all within like 3 years of each other. So clearly it's not like he murdered just his wife and that they have 7 kids together. No, this man went to multiple houses and just annihilated his entire family. And that's like so crazy to me. And I think a lot of people too don't like to admit that some people are just demons. Like, he wasn't even in like he was National Guard, but he wasn't deployed. He has no PTSD. He's fucking fine. He was just a demon. And sometimes demons happen. I'm sorry. Sometimes people are just bad people. And I think he's very clearly one of those, because you have to be some sort of demon in order to go from house to house to house and murder a bunch of little children. Period. Full stop.
So every time something like this happens, it's always talked about the race of the people, especially with black people. So with black conservatives, they take videos and then they'll play a video and then they'll say, oh, this is all black people. So Killers and Losers, I'm going to get you to respond to this because it's a clip that conservative influencers are using and then saying that there's a major issue in the black community. So I want to get your thoughts as a liberal.
She's getting beat to work in the corner. Oh shit, let me back up. Oh shit. What is that? Why are you Wait,
boy, she got about the size of Alaska on her forehead, boy. Ooh, shoot.
Okay, it's enough of that. So Killers and Losers, I'm pretty sure you've seen this in your feed where influencers, whether no matter the race, they'll use a video like this and they'll say, oh, look at the black people. They're doing this. This is the problem. This is why 13% of the population commits 50% of the crime. So, like, what's your thoughts on that?
I think it's pretty ridiculous to look at that video and blame the race, because I guess what I always think is, I mean, 2 days ago I saw this street fight going on with like 5 like white people, and it's this, I mean, the same kind of shit. It's just people fighting, or there's all this stuff happening, and then people will talk about like stores getting robbed. There's videos of like some black guy robbing a store. But I grew up in Portland, and stores, which is a very white city, and stores started, like, all my friends would steal constantly. Everyone I knew would steal from stores constantly. The stores started leaving Portland because there was so much stealing. So I don't really think, I think it's never a good idea to blame something off of like a generalization or a stereotype, because I think every race gets into fights and does bad stuff. So I think it's wrong to look at that video and make it a race thing. I don't know what the cause of the fight was, but I think, I don't know, people fight all the time. So I typically disagree with these kind of videos.
That's valid. So Mia, Ice Spice got attacked at McDonald's.
Gas? You ready? Girl. What? Ready for what? Take gas. You take gas? That's what you do, you take gas? Yeah. Go take gas. So you from Cali? So go check out. So you from Cali? Are you from Cali? Where you from? Are you from Cali? Where you from? Are you from Cali? No, I'm from Chiraq. Where you from? Oh, you're from Chiraq. Yeah. So where you from? So where you from? I'm from McDonald's. I got well, I'm from Wade. Where you from? Where you from? Where you from? Why you from? Where you
Calm down.
Let me fight her.
On your mama.
Let me fight her. Let me fight her. Why would you want to fight me? Are you a bitch?
Calm down.
You want to fight a bitch? Why would you fight me, bitch?
So, Mia, what's your thoughts on a D-list celebrity eating in McDonald's and then getting attacked?
I mean, people will do anything to get their names in the paper, so this just shows. I mean, it's giving very staged. It's probably staged. It's probably a PR stunt. I mean, I guess you got to do what you got to do in order to get her name in the papers. I don't know. Her music's trash. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe she needs to resort to like physical violence of people in McDonald's to get her names in the paper. I don't know. I don't pay attention to her.
I'm going to play the girl response that attacked her because she made a video.
My friends and everything. And we came from the beach earlier that night and we decided to go walk around Hollywood or whatever. But before we did that, we decided to stop by McDonald's because we all had to use the bathroom. So then one of my friends, she comes out and she was like, oh, I think that's Ice Spice over there. And I'm like, oh, for real? So I go up to them and I'm giving her and the other girl she was with compliment. And then immediately Ice Spice was just being rude. She was like, why are you over here? You could leave. Bye. And I'm like, why are you being rude pretty much? And she was basically saying like, you could just leave. Bye. Like, I don't even know why you're at my table. Then that's when I proceeded to ask her, like, you don't got to be rude. I'm just giving you guys a compliment. And I'm like, you know what? Where are you from? She said, I'm from New York. So I said, let me tell you something. I don't care where you from. I'm like, you in LA, you in my city now. You can't be out here disrespecting people. Like, if you wanted us to leave, you could have just politely said, oh, I'm not in the mood or something, right? And
Doc, what's your thoughts on it?
Man, that's what y'all get for being so fanned out, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm not walking up to Ice Spice and no McDonald's. And first off, I ain't even going into McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? But then what's she doing in here? Like, you should be ashamed of yourself for being in here eating this fake meat. But nah, like that's what people get for being so fan. Yo, when I see dudes out, like, or if I see somebody out and they famous or something and they eating or something, I'd never be that person to run up and say, yo, can I get a picture with you while you with your kids or your old lady and you trying to have dinner? That's just not me. That's just not, you know what I'm saying? I think that's a weird thing for people to, you know what I mean? Like interrupt somebody when they in the middle of, you know, having a personal conversation or whatever they got going on. Even if you think they famous, like, that's just not how I'm gonna portray myself because they gotta put their pants on this one leg at a time, just like you. Like, you know what I'm saying? And this should get weird.
Doc, I was with you when I got a picture with the D's Nuts guy. He charged me for that picture.
I know. And he like a straight junkie.
Right.
Remember he was running down Vegas? Yeah, he was going down the strip in Vegas.
Yeah,
I was
like,
like,
asking for money.
Bro, if you don't get out of here, bro.
How much you have to pay for that photo?
Probably like if we just asked for a donation, I probably gave him like 10, maybe 5. Are you an Ice Spice fan? Killers and losers?
I would not really say so. No.
All right, I'll give you a different clip then because this went viral and you more so like politics. So this is the last clip, and I'll get you to respond to this.
It's unfortunate because I'm assuming she's a senior and going to graduate soon, and now this is going to jeopardize her ability to graduate.
A 23-year-old FIU student charged with a felony over messages she wrote in a school group chat. Gabriela Saldana facing a judge Thursday morning. According to her arrest report, this went down in a WhatsApp group chat of about 215 students, where students were discussing an event that was to take place Friday at the Ocean Bank Convocation Center on campus to make their capstone presentations. An FIU police officer read some of the statements in court.
The exact words utilized was, "There's going to be a bomb in the Ocean Bank Convocation Center, and it's going to be at Jonathan's fault," one of the members in the chat.
7 News obtaining some bits of that chat. It seemed the student wanted the event rescheduled and wrote, quote, "Netanyahu, if you can hear me, drop some bonbons for us capstone students in Ocean Bank Convention Center." Other students wrote they didn't take that text lightly. She later in the chat wrote, quote, "I wrote a dumb joke that should not have been made."
I can understand your position, Ms. Corey, and you're saying this is a joke, but to an objective person, it's not a joke, and there would be enough for probable cause. I'm not saying it's enough for beyond a reasonable doubt. I don't know what the state's going to be able to prove at trial, but for purposes of this hearing, I believe there is enough for probable cause.
Killers and Losers, you're in college, right? So what's your thoughts on, her saying that? Do you feel like that was anti-Semitic? Do you feel like that was a threat?
No, I think it's totally insane that she's in court for that. I would not say that would be, I would not think that would be probable cause. Obviously, Netanyahu is not going to drop a bomb on this random center. This is a joke that I've been seeing people say all the time, like, "Yo, Netanyahu, if you can hear me, we need to blow up this site." Like, I don't know, like my landlord has a nuclear facilities in his basement. It's just like, I don't know, it's a joke. And so I can't believe that with all the stuff is going on that we're prosecuting someone for a joke in a group chat. I don't, and especially when the judge said that an objective person would think this was a serious threat. Obviously, in what world is this a serious threat? People say, I guess it's stupid to say this in a group chat with these people, maybe, but I don't know. It's incredibly lame that someone snitched on her and reported this. And if she actually does get charged with a felony, that's, I don't know.
She should be charged. She should be charged. One, you should be charged for even allowing them to put you in a group chat. All right. I remove myself from group chats when I don't know the people in them. 2, there's 215 people, they said, in the group chat. There is no way you can know all 215 people personally. So why would you? I wouldn't even make a joke just about anything else. If I had to respond at anything, it would be professional. I would leave it at that, and then I would put the group chat on silent. Like, what you in here making jokes for people you don't know? You don't know how they're gonna take it. You see what I'm saying?
I guess you're right. With a group chat, I said I didn't catch it was that big. With a group chat that big, that is absurd to make any joke at all. I agree. I mean, I think she does. I guess maybe it's just embarrassing for her that she did this, but a felony is insane. That's not. It wasn't. Who could look at this and think it was a credible threat? It's just the same as making it. Just she made a bad joke. That's not a. I mean,
scared me. Charleston White said. Charleston White always say, "Once you scare me, you can't unscare me." Now, you know what I'm saying?
You didn't see Killers and Losers joke on here last time. Killers and Losers joke you did on here last time. The Charlie
Kirk costume, yeah.
You just said that. If it was 215 people though, and you don't know them all, you know what I'm saying, in college, it's weird to be in the group chat making a joke. You know what I mean? Because it's obviously for some professional purpose.
For sure.
Yeah, it is weird. Yeah, that is really weird. But also, it's not a crime to be, I guess, socially awkward. I don't know. I don't know how you could look at this and really.
Apparently, it's a felony.
It's a felony, and I guess apparently it's a felony in these college group chats. Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, I think it's interesting how when we think about it in the context, it's talking about like Netanyahu and whatnot. If it had been somebody else they had been referencing, like the Ayatollah, would it be such a big deal? Or is it specifically because it's Netanyahu and we have such ties to the Israeli government? Is this why they're taking it so serious? I mean,
like I said, you know, it seems to be this perpetual victimhood. And then when the FBI, you know, just released what they want for money and what they're going to do, you know, over the next year, their report, they very specifically said that they are going to aggressively start charging people and attacking people and going after people when it comes to anti-Semitism or anything, or being basically anti-Israel. So from here on out, if anybody's watching, you better not say anything, because the FBI will prosecute. That is one of their outliers that they're trying to do.
I'm applying for my 7K soon. But if you're watching right now, hit that subscribe button and press that notification bell. Mia, what's your final thoughts?
You know, it was a very good episode. Thank you to our special guests that came and hung out with us. Hopefully we can have you back again. It was very fun. And I too would shill for 7Gs. Bibi Netanyahu, if you're listening, let me know. I will shill for 7Gs. I will do it the entire year if you make it 14,000. Double or nothing.
Killers and Losers, what's your final thoughts?
Yeah, to add on to that, yeah, thank you for having me. I'd love to be back at some point. Hopefully I could debate. Afraid I have no women, maybe. But yeah, I've always said that I would sell out pretty instantly for any amount of money, really. So if anyone wants to offer me anything, I'll probably sell out. But until then, I'll keep on promoting the truth, and it's this. Hopefully we don't all get caught in a nuclear war with whatever Trump decides to do tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. Killers and Losers is supposed to debate Jeff. That's his real name. And his other username is he's not scared of anyone but God or something like that. But yeah, Killers and Losers is going to debate Jeff on here. We go set it up. Jeff got sick tonight, but they're going to debate each other. Doc, what's your final thoughts?
It'll probably have to be a substantial amount to get me to sell out. I ain't gonna front, because I still like to go places like where they ain't gonna respect it at. You know what I'm saying? Like I still like to go regular places and they ain't gonna respect it. And they're gonna say something. You know what I'm saying? So they probably take a substantial amount of money. Good luck to all those dudes and all those soldiers who are over there in the Middle East. Be safe. Good luck to all those families, getting in touch and keeping in contact with your loved ones. I hope this is something that's resolved quickly, as well as I hope we as the American people start to come together and stop doing a blue and red, left and right, liberal, conservative thing, and realize that all of these people are using this as a credit card and tricking us to fight each other. And we need to come together and make this country a better place.
For sure. Thank you to the cast. Thank you to everyone that came and watched. We do this every Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be back tomorrow talking about Will Smith no longer basically listening to Jada Pinkett, and we'll be talking about Laura Loomer and Candace Owens beef. Have a great night, Man Cave.
Hello, history buffs. Ready for a journey back? Look at this encampment. The spirit of 76 is alive.
Freedom of future. A true patriot savors these moments, but the fight for liberty calls. To the encampment for freedom of future.
For liberty. This is what American patriotism is all about. Look at these flags. They represent our fight for liberty.
The hour our liberty is at hand. For freedom is robbed by. Secure our liberty. My fellow patriots, the hour of decision is upon us. Let us march forth with courage to secure our liberty.
Welcome to my colonial home. Today, Del Payne's work captures the spirit of We Fight for Independence. And our freedom. Greetings from the encampment. The spirit of liberty is strong. We will fight for our rights and our freedom.
hour is late. You must not. To the encampment for liberty. Through every change and challenge. We stand at the dawn of liberty, unshaken by the trials ahead. Soldiers, the enemy is near. Front line, fire me!